welcome Dr. C.V Ananda Bose IAS on our show. We would like to know your views on the Prime Minister's security.
Mr. Goyal, it is very ironical that we have chosen this topic on the Road Safety Week when the Prime Minister's safety on the road is very weak. Who is to blame for this? When the Prime Minister of India is on the roads, who is in the dock? Not a blame game. But people are asking a question. If there is no security for the Prime Minister of this country, where else can the common man look up to for his security? What is the role of the state government? Are they mere weathercocks when democracy is challenged on the wayside? Are they just to look at it as mute witnesses? Are the security regulations, protocol, more honored in the breach than in the observance? What is the sanctity of Article 19 of the Constitution, which guarantees freedom of movement? How will the nation move when the Prime Minister himself is immobilized on the road? And what is the role of the Special Protection Group? Is it a bunch of white elephants who do not act when action is called for? No criticism, no backbiting. These are the questions which a common man asks. And as in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, when Julius Caesar was murdered, the crowd asked Mark Antony, "We shall be satisfied. Let us be satisfied," which means the public are willing to listen and be convinced, but they should be convinced. Somebody somewhere owes an answer to the common man who is asking these questions. Is democracy being trampled upon on the streets of India, the so-called largest democracy in the world? Who is responsible for this? As a humble civil servant who has been in the service for the last 45 years in some form or the other, I would say that the primary responsibility for the security of the Prime Minister lies with the state government. As all of us know, Punjab is responsible for this because it happened in Punjab. See, we flew over all norms of democratic propriety in the flyover incident which happened in Punjab. And what are the significance of this? It has international ramifications and national implications. What is the international ramifications? Punjab is a border state. You know, fomenting trouble in Punjab and dismembering the country is primary in the agenda of our enemy nations. Pakistan is always there to foment trouble in this country. It has international ramifications that way. National implications. Punjab is facing an election. This is the time when national leaders of various views will be visiting Punjab frequently. By intimidating the Prime Minister himself on the road, is Punjab giving the message to the outside world like the Emperor of China, tremble and obey? This is unfair. Certainly somebody has to answer for this. Who is responsible for the security of the VVIPs? The President, including the President and the Prime Minister. You know, as you already have stated, in 1988, the Special Protection Group was formed by an act of Parliament. Then in 2019, it was amended to restrict their protection only to the Prime Minister. Now the question comes, everyone knows, as a district collector sometime for a few years, then he knows it was in his own district I was collector. Then, as Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister who was in charge of the police, I had the opportunity to handle a large number of VIP visits, including those of the Prime Minister. What is the Bible of VIP security in this country. Even before the act constituting the special protection group was passed, we had the Blue Book. The Blue Book is sacrosanct as far as VIP visit is concerned. The Blue Book lays down clearly what are the steps to be taken. The formation of the motorcade, as you know, there will be advanced pilot car, which is a warning car. Then there is a technical vehicle, VIP car, the escort cars, the ambulance, then other mandatory cars, and also cars for the authorized authorities. That forms a cavalcade. And even as a measure of anti-sabotage measures, all vital installations on the road, culverts, bridges, everything will be inspected. There will be meetings of the central agencies and the state agencies. After elaborate preparation, only the VIP starts moving on the road. Now, are we to believe that the Punjab government was unaware of the fact that a large crowd of protesters are there? We saw the video. We see the policemen on the road. They were enjoying tea rather than controlling the crowd. One can suspect where the protectors aligning themselves with the protesters. This does not augur well for India. Punjab has failed. Punjab police has failed. That others have also failed is no excuse. The various stakeholders have to do some soul search. The common man wants it. With all this special protection group, the Blue Book, and the coordinated activities of the intelligence of the central government and the state government, is this the way the Prime Minister is to be treated? For 20 minutes, India's Prime Minister, the representative of 138 crores of people in the largest democracy in the world, is waylaid. Democracy is waylaid. Democracy has been taken over by mobocracy with the tacit support of the guardians of law. The moot question is, who is here to guard the guardians and custode the custodians? Somebody should own up the responsibility. And this is not the first time that it is happening. Even in the case of Narendra Modi himself, we know Hari has been in West Bengal. Hari will remember what happened in 24 Parganas, where the Prime Minister came to address a rally, a crowd. They broke the barricades. They rushed onto the podium where the Prime Minister was speaking. Providential intervention only avoided a stampede. But before they could enter the podium and stop the Prime Minister had to cut short his speech after 20 minutes, and the SPG guards whisked him away to safety. So this is not the first time. How came, a question is there, how came the Prime Minister of India? The Prime Minister of India is not a Prime Minister of a particular party. He represents the whole of India. How came the Prime Minister's security is threatened only in states where the opposition is ruling, whether it's Punjab or in Bengal? Now come to Kerala. In Kerala, when the Congress was in power in the center, Prime Minister of those days, Manmohan Singh, he came to Kerala. That is time Kerala was ruled by the then opposition. Even now they are in power. He was taken to an uncharted route by a driver. Then the trivia in the political lines and the media, they said, what's so important if there is a traffic error when the Prime Minister is there? There is. You know that the First World War was started because of security lapse. Archduke Ferdinand of Austria was to visit Bosnia. Some conspirators had decided to finish him off. They were on the route with a loaded pistol. The first one got panicky when he saw the Ferdinand's motorcade. He jumped into the river out of fear. The third man fired at the prince, but somehow it did not touch him. When he came for the function in the city hall, he gave the indication, is this the way that you receive your guest? The mayor did not know what happened. Then somebody said, yes, there was a firing on the way. Nothing happened. Then they decided to change the route, as is always done. If there is a threat, they go to a different route. The new route was taken, but the mayor did not know the change in the security route. He told the driver to turn the car and go in the original route because we did not know of the change of route. The car took a reverse, and lo and behold, there was one killer who saw to his delight that unexpectedly the prey is in front of him in point blank range. He shot, and Archduke was killed. His wife was killed. That started the First World War. Therefore, a small traffic accident or security lapse is not a small thing. There are many instances where even recently, when the president's carcade was going on in Trivandrum, the local leader, city leader, thought that their car could be crashed into the motorcade or street crash into the motorcade. Is it admissible in a democratic setup? We are a federal country. The Prime Minister's protection is a duty of all. The primary responsibility for the protection of the Prime Minister lies with the state government. Only an impartial inquiry can bring out the truth in this, the fact of their case. But this does not augur well for anyone. If the Prime Minister of this country does not have security, how can the 38 crores of people have security with them? Something is rotten in the state of Punjab. Something is rotten in the state of Bengal. Something is rotten in the state of Kerala. I am singling out these because these are the areas where lapses took place. This does not mean other states are absolved of their responsibility. There is a need for us to rethink on this. Our Prime Minister, the nation's Prime Minister, he represents the will of the people. If the Prime Minister is waylaid, somebody has to be put in the dock. We have to put an end to this, and we hope the apex court will find a way out for this. This cannot happen. We have instances where the ministers, central ministers, are humiliated in the states. Is this the way India wants to run its democracy? Democracy shall never degenerate into mobocracy. We have to begin from the beginning. Yes, we have to review the security arrangements for our VVIPs and also for the nation. Now, in all my respect to my colleagues in the Special Protection Group, as you know, the SPG, they are recruited from the bravest and the brightest among all the police services in the country, from the VSF, CRPF, CISF, ITBP and others. They are the bravest and the brightest. Then how came that they could not provide protection? About the Holy Roman Empire, it is said they are neither holy nor Roman, nor was it an empire at all. Should people start asking the question? The Special Protection Group, there is nothing special about them. They do not protect. Then how can they be guardians? These kinds of questions should not arise. But we should realize that people need an answer. People need a foolproof arrangement. It is not enough that something is written in the blue book. It is not enough that something is there in the legislation. When the need comes, there should be action, not an alibi for inaction. I am not blaming them, but this is a time for a mid-course correction. This is a time for soul searching. India's security, VIP security, Prime Minister security has to be sacrosanct, should be made effective. Thank you.